Alright, back again for second video today. Let's see, where do I want to go? Probably want to get a shop. We're also going to need NPC dialogue settings text so that they don't just all say hi ... Whoa, I think those two characters are like falling in love. I mean that's what I'm saying. But we better document this moment. That way we can cherish it forever. Look at that. Hashtag love blessed. Okay. So we've got this dude. Here's the shop. So we want to be able to talk to them. Which I'm pretty sure, yeah, their range. We need to pull them down one. And I think player will be able to pick that up. Pick up their range. Do. Maybe not. What we can do is maybe just give the... Let's see, we have the NPC. I don't know if they really need interaction range, because they're not interacting. Let's try making it just, let's go bigger. And so the player should be able to interact with the shopkeeper now. Let's see. Oh, really? Wow. Let's try. I'm just curious how we're not hitting them. Well, I do have this one turned off. There we go. Why are they not? Oh, I have to turn theirs on. Yeah, okay, so it's right, they're not reaching. Let's see. Maybe we give the NPC a toggle and they can be a shop. And the shop will just have a wider interact range. Actually, I want to bring this back down to normal. We can hide these again. Turn that off. So we have NPC, which I don't think the NPC or the shopkeeper, I don't think they need all of this. So what we're going to do is going to make a shopkeeper class / scene. So I'll open that. We can close out some of the stuff that we don't need. Game, put town in front. So shopkeeper does not need these. Disconnect them before we delete them just to be safe. I don't know if it'll cause any issues. Interaction range, they don't need that. What they do need is we're going to turn this on. And we're going to make this unique so that when I change this, it's not going to change it for everyone. And we're just going to make their collision shape hella big. Really, they don't need to be a kinematic, but just for simplicity, they can be. It's not a huge deal. And this has to be shopkeeper. And they're going to extend actor. Specifically not NPC. I'll show you what's happening here. We'll go back to this paint. So now we just did shop. So these are all extending actor. We don't really need to save that right now. So shopkeeper has that stuff. Let me make sure I didn't delete too much from them. Forest, that's good. Interaction range, I think this just needs to be on the player. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And then we'll update the NPC to get rid of that. No point in having it because they're not handling the interactions. All right, so we have shopkeeper. They're going to need a couple things. So I think one, they're going to need an inventory. It's going to be a class inventory, which I'm going to have to make. And it's going to be null by default. And I need to put var. Wait, does this exist or is it just... Yeah, so I'm going to comment that out for now because we have to make the inventory. I'm going to remake it from scratch. I'm going to put it in items, I think. How do I want to handle this? I guess it can be in there. And so we're going to make a new resource. And give that resource a script. I'm going to save it. We're going to open that. It's going to be class name inventory extends resource. So now if I go back to shopkeeper and we uncomment that, that won't throw an error, or it shouldn't. Correction, it won't once I reload the project because it's being a butthead. All right, we go back. Come on. Really? I can't export. Maybe that's just how exports work. So we'll just do resource. And here's what I'm going to do. This is so freaking janky. I'm doing that only because, and it's so stupid that I can't export inventory because it's not built in. And then I'm just going to transfer it to there. Oh man, this cough. All right. So what does inventory need? For one, it needs... Wait, we're not in inventory. So we want to get inventory going. It's going to need var items array, which is empty. It's going to need an initializer, I believe. No, I don't think we're going to do it that way. We have items. We're going to have function add item. So we're going to need, can you guess what we need? We need item. It's going to extend resource. And item is going to be resource. So you have the resource which holds the script for item. Open that, do class name item. And then add item is going to be item, and it's going to be items.append item at the most basic form. But really what we have to do is check for quantities. And I'm tempted to just grab old code, but the general logic is if items.has, no, for item in items. So we need to change the name of this. New item. New item. Let's call it that. For item in items, if item.name equals new item.name, then we want to combine the stacks. Then it's going to be like item.quantity plus equals new item.quantity. Okay. And then we want to return. If we don't make it there, then we're just going to add that item to there. And the way items work, this, I think we want to always duplicate it. So we're making a copy of it. All right, so now item needs bar name. It's not an int, it's a string. What else do we need? Quantity. Make it 1 by default. Int equals, let's say 99. We'll do it Final Fantasy style. Say combine. No, I don't think we need to do that. I was thinking for combining stacks, but do that. So we duplicate it. We add that. Looks good. What else? So right now we just have what? Name and quantity. So we're adding new item by that. What we're going to do now is go to data, and we're going to make items. That's not a function. Article. Dictionary. So we're going to do like potion, item.new, and let's give item a value. Or maybe price. Int equals, let's say cost. Price is more specific because we're speaking monetarily. Equals -1 because it's not set. When we do function init, we're going to have price int equals price, and we're going to do price equals price. We have to have that default value because we do duplicate these, right? So like when I'm making a new one, that's the base data for that item. And then when we add an item to the inventory, I'm making a copy of that base item. That way I'm modifying the copy of it. We don't want to mess with the default settings here, like the name and everything, right? So that's the idea there. I do think I need to override. How do I send the duplicate name? Let me think. What's a good way to handle this? Or should my items be indexed? I'm thinking. No, I like the dictionary for the data. Down here, we do need to do fill.set keys to names of items. And I think we just look at battle actor, how we handle that. We can copy that and go to data. Rather go to item. And this is going to be this. And it's going to be a init price. And dupe name equals name. That's all we need. And then when we add this item, we do duplicate custom. There might be a better way, but that's what's working for me right now. So we have that inventory. Now what we can do in the shopkeeper, let's plan this out. Do I want to make a new inventory for each one? Or do I just want to init shopkeeper data in here? And so I could call this like inventories. Maybe we'll do it that way. And this I might use an array. No, I take it back to dictionary. Right? We'll say town 0. And what's this shop that I'm doing? Let's see. So it's the equipment shop. So maybe in data we call it equipment. And that's going to be inventory dot new. And I think this is where we can override the init for inventory. And it'll be item names array. For item name in, this does not need to be underscore. Names, we items dot, no, we do add item, maybe data dot items, item name. So we're just adding one of those. So now in data, I should be able to just do like potion. This needs to be an array. Save everything. And for the shopkeeper, let's do an array on these. I'll just use indexes. I don't feel like using strings on that. So, shopkeeper here, inventory resource. So this is even better. Now we're going to have inventory index in equals -1. If we don't set it, we'll have that. Maybe what we'll do is we'll have a default inventory here. And so this inventory is going to be data.inventories inventory index. And on ready, like for item in inventory print item.name. So when I load town, we should see that print out potion. Data.items item name, it's not working. Base nil. Let's tell me data's not ready. Data 22 inventories items. So maybe this has to be on ready so that we are ensuring that items is definitely existing. All right, so we didn't get the printout. I think that's because I didn't change that shopkeeper to a shopkeeper in the town. So this one, he's going to be character index 20. I can just copy that property. We're going to delete them. We're going to drag a shopkeeper character where they were. Paste that property. They're stationary by default. We don't even have to set that. Inventory index 0. So now we should, when I go into that town, we want to see potion printout. Iterate object. That's why. It's inventory.items. Alright, so it tried. It definitely tried there. Let's do, first off, I want to change this to get items. Add that. Items. And then we have to see what's going on there. Why are we not saving that name? I think I know why. Because we're not setting the keys to names until we do that. So actually, it's going to equal nothing. And then after that, so now we're going to do inventories equals. That's where we'll set all of those. That will ensure that our item names are in place. And so now we want to see potion printout in that bottom output. Negative. Okay. Shopkeeper, what are you doing? So it does have the item. It's just not, it doesn't have the item name. We duplicate it here. Inventory new potion. Add item potion. Oops. Excellent, put 5 there. So that name is just not going. So keys to names on items. Oh, because I don't have a set name function on the item. Duh. I don't know why that wouldn't error out. There we go. So we don't need that. And we also don't need that. We might need to do something with that loop, but I'll just delete it for now. Alright, so we have the inventory made. What else? So now we interact with them. We'll save that position. Actually, what I'll do, shopkeeper needs to be on Y sort. We're going to duplicate them just so I have a real quick way to interact with the shopkeeper for testing. Oh, but they're all solid now. I'll open the break. So we need to give that to shopkeeper. Yes. Not going to do anything with that right now. Shopkeeper, I think how we can handle that is we give them their own canvas layer. And we'll just put the shop right on that. It's going to be a control, full rect. And what I'll probably do is we're going to save this as a branch. So shop GUI. Okay, we'll call it that. Save branch as scene. We're going to put that in GUI. And we'll edit it in here. We'll set its theme. Use whatever theme you're using. And we can start thinking about layout. My main point of reference for this game is Final Fantasy. So I might see what their shop menu looks like first. So that's a regular menu, and that looks like the GBA port, as does that. That's NES. Here's the NES shop. Or no, that's FF4. Here's the old school shop. I don't know if I want to go that far back. We could just do something like FF4. It's pretty simple and functional. I like the retro, like 1 or 10 quantity. Let's look at different Final Fantasy shop menus. That's nice because you have all this information there. But I really like this one. So let's call it FF4 shop. Excuse me. Let's look at FF6. It's going to keep getting newer. I definitely want to copy that kind of style. That's fun. That'll be a good video. I'm not seeing the shop menu here. Here we go. Let's see how they change over time. A lot of dead space, but I guess that's for when you can have party members to fill that, right? And FF8 is pretty boring. I was never a fan of that gray, except maybe when I was a kid. You have kind of like that gunmetal. Layout-wise, it's actually pretty good. FF9 is pretty good. Pretty clear. Kind of like that layout. So I'm going to save that. FF9 shop menu. And just for the heck of it, FF10. That's the items. Shop. Okay. Let's get those open. I think we will just work off of the FF4. Kind of like that. It's retro enough, but still pretty functional. Quantity. Let's get this like that. I do want to see one thing. Let's see where they show the equipment changes. Here's the equipment menu. I want equipment shop menu. So I'm guessing maybe they just indicate some way there, and maybe there's an up or down arrow. I think on the original Final Fantasy, you don't get any kind of indication. I could be wrong. Do I want this? Boomerang. I mean, we can always modify it later. Maybe we do FF6. Kind of like this. I like that we have them at the bottom and we have those indicators. It looks like the arrow there. I don't know what these bottom arrows do actually. Is that just saying we can equip it? And this indicates whether it's an improvement. I don't know. But we can do our own thing in regards to how we communicate the changes. I do like that layout. Let's get that going over here. Close that out. Just until I get my rough layout, we'll work from this. Alright, so first I want a background. It's going to be a color rect. I'm going to make it the full. It's weird. It's like, I think it's because this is longer. Yeah, we want that. Make it black for now. I need to get my windows. So I need a 9 patch. Go to GUI art. I think for this one we want the default. Patch margin 3333. It's going to be window. Alright, so first we need margin container. It's also going to be full rect. Put the window in there. And so I want these separate windows. Yeah, let's go for that. It's kind of cool. So that's going to look like, I think we have a V box. And we're going to have an H box at the top. That's going to have 2 of these windows. And then we're going to have 2 more windows within the V box. I can get rid of that first window. I could simulate that gradient real quick. That's a real easy fix. I don't want a color rect though. I want a texture rect. And so that texture rect, we'll call it gradient. Plus top one background. So gradient, we're gonna do new gradient texture. I think just the first one. Could be wrong. Yeah, looks right. And we can kind of emulate those colors. It's more of a purple, purple-blue, and light. Right, something like that. Then the bottom one, like indigo and kind of dark. Maybe a little more blue, a little more purple now. All right, so there's our gradient. Expand there. And then I just need to rotate it. Which I'm not 100% sure how to do. So I go up to texture maybe. Maybe it's something in there. So we have expand, that looks good. Rect. Just do that. That'd be too easy, wouldn't it? So how do I make my gradient vertical? It's a gradient. Because it has the flips, but we just want to rotate that damn gradient. Look that up. So rotate gradient to vertical. I think what we're going to have to do, we're going to try this. Rotate that 90. Rotate 90. No, I don't think it likes that rotation. Oh, man. Let's see. See, there are other people trying to do it. Maybe we have to use this kind. A 2D one. Let's save this. Window background. GUI for now. Let's make a new one. I'm gonna try 2D. Yep, this is gonna be the ticket, I think. I've never used this kind, so give me a sec. Oh, can I just load in? I think I can load that in. No? I do want to grab these colors though. So we're just bouncing between the two. So we have that. Now, oops. Aha. I don't know if it's perfectly straight, but if we want it stepped like that, let's see what this looks like. That's kind of nice. Which reminds me, all these windows, we now want to use the clear 9 patch. And I'll get to the sizing of them in a second. Fill linear. Okay, so we can make this perfect. Perfectly straight, I mean. And if we change the height to like 16, it should create that stepped look. I can't tell if it's, I don't think it's happening. I do like, let's see, 8. I really don't think that's the setting I want. Might be in the gradient file. That's the texture, that's that. Raw data. No. Maybe. Whatever. I don't really care that much. We have that fade. Now let's get the sizing of the windows. So this is going to be shop type. It's going to be shop text. Let's say shop greeting. So we're just going to copy this exactly. Let's do min size. On the Y, like 80. Maybe a little bit more, 96. The bottom, we're going to do expand vertical. The top, the greeting. Is there a way to do this? Yeah, the stretch ratio. That's what we want to be using here. So let's get these expands and stretch ratio. See how that works? So I'm going to make, for the shop greeting, we're going to increase its ratio. And instead of using a min size on these, I'm going to do vertical expand and stretch ratio. We'll just increase it on that one. And I think we want to do the same thing up here, that this vertical is going to expand, but give it less of a stretch ratio. We also want to change our separation. You know, maybe 2 pixels is fine for now. And go back to that H box. Let's try like 0.3, 0.4. Yeah. And so this is going to be, let's call it main. And we have characters. And I'm actually going to, on this one I don't want to use that. We're just going to give it a minimum 24. Something like that. Let's see how that looks. Make those all even. I think actually I'll do a bit of a margin on that. Maybe even not that much. Just a hair. That looks retro. Right? You wouldn't normally see this kind of setup. So I think that's kind of cool. We'll work with that. So now this is going to need margin container. Should I take it back? It just needs a label. And I think we do full rect and center this text. Shop site. So we do that. And hell, we can even copy the FF highlight color. No, we don't want to change the font, just the font color. Something like that. Copy that. Put it in there. We don't want that color. Theme overrides colors. Welcome to my incredible shop, bonehead. No, that's not nice. Buy something, will ya? That's a Earthbound reference. And maybe we'll align that one to the left. So that is going to need a margin container if we're going to use the alignment. This one I'll just override the left margin. Oops, wrong direction. Yeah, something like that. And but yeah, why not? Why the heck not? There's our shop. Wow, it's amazing. It's amazing. Can you sense my sarcasm? No, I'm actually I'm digging it. It's cool. Now we need to get these fellers. So the main, real quick, I need to look up an item menu. So I need to see how they handle the bottom panel on the item menu. Or am I actually, am I on FF6 now? Yeah, we're using FF6. So they just get rid of that. They put the item description up at the top. And that's the item menu. The item shop. I'm pretty partial to these FF6 menus. I think they're really fun. I would love to find a reference for this. Item shop. Really? Just shop menu. I have an idea. So let's say it's a regular item shop, then we'll put the description at the bottom, and that'll replace the character portraits. If it's an equipment shop, we'll have the characters and then the stat changes. That works for me. So I need to make a note here. For regular items and character window portraits plus stat changes and items for equipment and equipable indicator. So it's pretty much, we have another V-box, or I'm sorry, it's a main. First gonna need a margin container to fill it. And it's gonna have an H box in there first. So we're starting horizontally. Then we have 3 V boxes. And I think we want those to expand horizontally. So then I just make 3 of them. And let me see. I think the middle one with the cost, I'm going to give it a minimum width. Everything else will just expand. Maybe not these. That looks about right. Maybe that's too much. That's something. Alright, so we're going to call this items. It's going to be costs, prices, and info. Bottom. It's going to need a margin container as well. Instead of main, we're going to call that middle. We have top. So for prices, we can get these in. 2, 3, 4, 5. And these will be right aligned. I just did get a bunch. All these, well, not that one, but these 2 need to share separation. I think 2 is probably good enough. Fill that out. And over here, see how these have these icons? We're going to make these buttons. Because buttons have built-in functionality for that. And plus, it'll give us a convenient way to manage focusing on them. I'm going to do add button. And I want to get a default icon in, I think. Maybe we'll worry about that later. Item name. And one too many. These all need to not fill horizontal. We can see there's just a bit too much real estate here. Maybe instead of using that, we'll give it a min, like 60. That's way too much. 90. Item name, prices, we don't want you to fill. What's going on here with the separation? Nothing. Oh, why are these getting pushed out? I think for one, we want to take this whole thing and squash it a bit. And then we can center that. Middle, items, prices. Let's just do 0 separation. And this probably needs less, like 80. So 88. Alright, it's getting there. Let's get some more. And let's see what these look like. Nah. I don't know, maybe that's too much. We don't need all of that right now. Alright, the shop. So now with the items, we can make that a menu simply by giving it that menu script that we made for the battle. And we don't want focus on start, we do want disable on focus exit. And what else do we need? Tell you what we want. So we have shop GUI. We want to get the shopkeeper. So you can see shopkeeper has that now. We're going to hide that by default. Give shop GUI a script, function, ready, just to make sure it's always hidden. So now shopkeeper needs a reference to that shop GUI. GUI. And for now, we're just going to do visible equals 1. I can take out that underscore because we're using it. So if I go and talk to the shopkeeper, it should pop up. Oh, I have to fix his collision, and this just broke. What? Oh, because we're grabbing. What? What is this from? Danger? We don't want that. That code should not be there. Alright. Alright. There we go. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna just stretch real quick and get a drink. Take this time to figure out what you think our next step should be. Pull up the GUI. So you can see we just have it now so that when we interact, we open up that GUI. What else do we need? What's missing at this moment? What is our priority? So I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Okay. If you answered populating that menu data, that is correct. So go to shopkeeper, shop GUI, shop inventory. So when ready, we want to pass that down. Set inventory. Okay. Function set inventory. Inventory equals inventory. Oh my gosh, can I type? We're gonna put this here. Up here we need that. And then we need to loop through all the buttons. Shop GUI. It's going to need a reference to its menu. Items. I think that'll give it. Yeah. Wow. That is a long chain. But what can you do? I think we need all of it. So we have items. Which items menu might turn into its own extension, but we'll worry about that later. You know what they say about premature optimization. So we set inventory. Then we need to loop through the buttons in items. It's going to be 4 button. No, we need to use I for I in range. Get buttons. We also want item buttons. Do that. Array equals items.get buttons. Then we're going to use item buttons dot size. Item button. Just a button. I'll do base button just to be safe. Or no, let's be specific. Button equals item buttons I. Alright, so we have the button. What we want to do is do actually, if items if items.size I less than items.size. Might as well get a reference to that. Item size. So we might have a bunch of items, and we might be calling this a lot. So if I is less than item size, then we want to set item button dot text equals our item equals items I. Item dot text equals item dot name. Else item button dot hide. Let's see what that looks like. I don't know why we're getting all those red errors down there. I just missed the town. Alright, let's go up. Like that, we've got potion. So we have potion. We also need to update the prices. This is going to be our prices. Right equals. It's going to be this. Dot get children. So it's going to be prices I dot text equals item dot price. Otherwise, prices I dot text equals 0. Actually, it should probably just not exist at all. I have to do string here, and I think we'll do the same. -1, that's not right. Oh, price is not getting set. That's why we have -1 and not 0. So we have init price. We go to data. So I didn't set a price. Let's say I don't know, what are potions? I know I'm playing the Final Fantasy GBA port. I think potions are 40, so let's just roll with that for now. So now our shop still needs its collision fixed. We have that. And then it's pretty straightforward from there to buy those items. Shopkeeper. I'm not going to do that. We're going to call shop GUI dot set enabled on. Do that at the top. So it's going to be visible equals on. And if on, we want to do items dot button focus 0. We also want to check if visible equals on churn because we're already set that way, so we don't need to call any more code. Alright, so you can see we focused on that button. Oh man! And I need to take a break. I have to get some stuff done before I go and pick up my kiddo. So we'll finish up the shop and towns and everything a little bit later. I just want to make a note. Fix shopkeeper. Collision should not be solid, but still needs to work with interact player. What was that? And we'll get icons too. Let me make a note of that. Inventory icons. Based on item type, equipment type. So we'll load those in, we'll get that set up. Groovy, groovy. Oh, I better stop the recording before I go to sleep. All right, I'll see you guys. Let me know if you have any questions.